Good morning, everyone. I hope you have your coffee and your cereal and are in your pajama pants and are ready for some Saturday morning Star Wars. I'm Commander Pulsar. Welcome to Star Wars Vagabonds on Roll for Change. I have a crew of ne'er-do-wells just ready to get back into shenanigans. But before we start, I did want to thank Roll for Change and remind everyone that we are doing donations. This quarter, donations are going to the ACLU, and we're trying to reach $500. We got a little bit from last night from Dresden Files for everyone that were there for that. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this show as well. But my pronouns are he, him. The pronouns of all the people I'm playing are going to change, of course, as I go through different characters. And I guess we will start with our players. I don't even have Twitch up, so I'm just going to go by my Zoom call. So this will be jumping around for everybody watching. Zach, tell us about you and your character and all that good stuff.
I'm Zach. I use he, him pronouns, and so does the character. I play Hal Tech. He is a Padawan who survived Order 66 and is totally not worried about the fact that the Inquisitors are after him now, apparently. It's fine. We're all fine. It's great.
How are you?
How are you?
I mean, technically, they were after him before. He just didn't know. Anyway.
Sure.
I guess going around, then I'm going to go just at random and put you all on the spot. No one knows where I'm going next. Zuri,
yes.
Tell me about RH.
Hi, I'm Spookerific Zuri. My pronouns are they, him, and Ari, who is she, her, is going to see if she can avoid her parents for a little while longer. Yeah.
Perfect. I guess we'll go up to Turk Bango, Jake Friday.
Hey everyone, I'm Jake, and my pronouns are he, him. Turks are he, him, and as mentioned, I'll be playing Turk Bango, the smuggler, gunslinger, chiss guy who I was sick last week, so coincidentally Turk got sick just for a different reason, partying a little too hard. So, yeah.
Weird how that works out, right?
Yep.
It's almost like you're connected or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or the GM was really lazy coming up with reasons. Why is he gone? Adam, tell us about Wraith.
Hello, yes, I am Adam. I use he, him pronouns, as does RC1549, or Wraith, a Republic commando turned mercenary. And we'll see how much more of the rebellion that they get into now that, we had our come to Jedi moment last episode.
And I guess next, Talavale.
Hi,
Danielle,
everyone.
our wonderful tech person.
Yay. Hi, I am Danielle at Raconteur. I use she, her pronouns, and so does my character Talavale, who is an ex-Imperial science officer who is extremely concerned by things that we have witnessed coming out into the VC system.
And last, but certainly not least, the happiest murder droid in all of the Outer Rim, Taryn.
Oh, you're talking about me, not my character, right?
Yeah, sure. Uh-oh, I've outed the android. Shit.
Hey, everybody, I'm Taryn, he, him pronouns, and I play Hickson, or HK-60SN, as CJ put it, the happiest little murder droid that you ever saw. Not little, and even more happy.
Former murder droid. Reformed murder droid.
Most
the party would convince you differently.
Maybe.
But yes, and Hickson is he, they pronouns. So
Perfect. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, that brings our crew around to kind of give you a recap. This is where the Star Wars scrawl would start. Anyway, last time on Star Wars Vagabonds, we had a little bit of an issue with a bounty hunter.
My brain is blanking now. Did we hit everybody?
Yeah,
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. We started with Al and worked our way around. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Taryn blacked out for a second.
I'm gonna go back to bed.
Need more coffee.
This is why, even though it's noon on the East Coast, I still call this a Saturday morning game because it's Saturday morning.
Taryn was partying with Turk, apparently.
There you go.
Listen, that's probably likely. Hickson, no, but
I'm not even sure if this synthahol will work on my circuit. But okay. Engage alcohol protocol. Like program yourself to be drunk. I'm done being drunk now. Engage hangover program. Wait, cancel. But anyway, yeah. No, last time we dealt with Rillahoon, the bounty hunter, who was not only here to play sabacc with Turk, but also to find a insurgent named Tunk Mangala, a Sistoden, who is basically fomenting resistance against the Empire, who have come to their planet and taken over and sort of kind of imprison people to put them to work mining things. So yeah, they're not happy about that. But the crew managed to basically kind of throw money at her until she went away. but also came to an agreement with Rillahoon. They got a little bit of DNA from Tunk, and as far as Black Sun knows, Tunk Bengala is dead. So that'll help him for a little while. But after that, we went out to a temple in the swamp, like you do, flipping houses, and basically Hal had, well, there was the come to Jedi moment, and after we had the come to Jedi moment, it was like, oh, by the way, I have this lightsaber, and I'm making light of all this stuff, but go watch. These guys are so good. Anyway, we encountered Hal, using Force powers, kind of rebuilt a strange 12-sided holocron, and had a Force vision of his own history, with some alterations and some intrusions from other Force users, and this woman in his Force vision, I see you, Hal. Anyway, or I see you. I don't think she used your name. I'm pretty sure she did not. But anyway, once the vision ended, Hal had rebuilt the holocron and managed to open it, revealing that this temple was at one point an archive for the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. So we'll have to see what comes of that, because shortly after that, the crew took off, managed to avoid an Imperial blockade through some nice shooting and good flying, and jumped to the Visi system, which no one gives a damn about because there's nothing there. There's a couple of gas giants, 2 very large asteroid belts, and oh, well, maybe there is something there, which is, I think, where we'll kind of come in. I'm kind of imagining after the opening scroll, when the camera pans down, it kind of pans down into the asteroid belt, and then just kind of comes closer and closer to one of the larger asteroids, where, like, on the side of it, kind of like an Empire Strikes Back, is this this modified YT 1300 freighter. It looks a little bit like the Millennium Falcon. You can kind of see the back curve where that engine area is, but unlike the Millennium Falcon, the cockpit isn't on the right side; it's in the middle, and there's these 2 pontoons on either side, with kind of they're much like Lancaster bombers from World War II. They're the kind of that glass front ball turrets on the front ends of these pontoons, where there are dual turbo lasers. But anyway, it we kind of come in even closer. I imagine the camera just kind of like goes through the cockpit and into the ship, where the crew of the Vagabond is looking out the window at a very sketchy construction. It's you know how the in Return of the Jedi, they open on the second Death Star, where it's all just scaffolding and all broken up. This kind of is all scaffolding and obviously completely under construction, but is a very, very large curved structure, and has some kind of has basically 8 triangular notches in it, and which looks very small from a camera angle, but from the scale, those notches are probably about a mile long each, because that's where an Imperial Star Destroyer would just kind of come in and dock and get repaired or refitted or whatever.
Cool. Great.
This is totally okay.
So
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. So there you are, hanging in space.
That's really big.
Thanks for confirming that, Hal. This hangover still. I don't know. I can't trust what I'm seeing.
Yeah, no problem.
I imagine there's this scene of all of us just like looking out the window.
Just in dead silence.
Turk's just like, hey, how's it going?
I mean, it's really big, or it's like this big and very, very close. It's just...
In space, depth perception is hard.
Does he get motion sickness? Just curious.
No. Well, he might get sick from he flies. I assume he doesn't get motion sickness just because he's got his own. He's a pilot, and he might get sick from being hungover, though.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah.
So are there?
I'm going to say the thing. I have a bad feeling about this.
Fair enough. All right. And a fate point for everyone.
Hey.
No, seriously, it's been invoked. That is an aspect of the game. So that just means I'm free to do bad stuff.
Oh, good. Great.
Somebody had a bad
Fantastic.
feeling about this. So thank you for that.
Whoops.
Seriously, bump up your fate points by 1. And
Yeah, I'm signing in now. I forgot to sign into Roll20.
so
Is that
what?
a Star Destroyer flying through the thing?
There might
It's
be
big
one under
enough.
construction, but yeah.
Okay. There's not. I don't see any Star
I was
Destroyers.
to say, has anybody other than I know Wraith has. Has anybody else actually seen Star Destroyers like in person?
I would imagine Hal has seen the Republic
Yes.
one. I don't know if
you've
he's
seen the
Imperial one.
Venators.
Tala has absolutely seen Star Destroyers.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Tala's like, seen one. I know the specs. I can tell you where
Tala
the bathroom
knows just
is.
about everything there is to know about Star Destroyers from a technical perspective.
I know where the refreshers are. It's all good. That's fair. But yeah, I mean, it's just, there's a visceralness to it. But yeah, I'm at, how close are you guys wanting to get to this thing?
Well, I have a question for you.
Like
Yeah.
7 systems away.
Is it apparent from this distance whether this is a regular Star Destroyer or something else that we have previously discussed privately?
This construction looks like it's intended to be a shipyard for Star Destroyers. This is what they're building.
Okay, but I can't
Just
tell precisely
there
what
are-
kind of Star Destroyer at this distance.
Do they have weird large spheres sticking out of the...
That would be much bigger. That'd be very far away. No, it doesn't look, because from what the stuff that you got, it wouldn't. A regular shipyard wouldn't work for that, Tala.
Okay,
that
this
would
just looks like a
that would be
regular-
something where you actually build the shipyard around the ship you're constructing.
Gotcha. Okay, that's
So-
marginally more comforting. Marginally.
I mean, but there's a lot of construction here. Maybe they're doing this first because they're going to have to bring in a lot of material for that too.
Okay, so looking at the rest of the group, this is uncomfortably close to Sestoda.
I mean, that's kind of an interesting thing about VC is that it's not really it's one of those systems that's kind of skipped over, like the little towns that are on the road map that don't get a dot, you know?
Jay, can you spell VC for me, please?
VISSI.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The Sota didn't have any kind of planetary defense, right? I mean, the Custodians themselves don't really go off-world much, do they?
But that's a shipyard. If they're gonna build ships, Imperial ships, I have to imagine they're planning to use them for something in the near-ish vicinity, which
how
There's
much
nothing
under
out here.
construction is it? Is it completed, near completed, only just started?
It is. I mean, the loading bar is probably about at least halfway, to a little past half. Let's call it 60% full.
Okay.
For the shipyard itself, you mean?
For the shipyard itself.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it completed in 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 23 seconds, 4 minutes, 2 minutes, 11 minutes.
So
Anyway,
how long are we planning on admiring this thing?
Well, depends on what we want to do, I guess.
As Turk says that, warping into the system, for those of you who aren't familiar with an Imperial Star Destroyer.
I've seen pictures.
About to get real familiar.
Yep. Kind of warping in almost above where you are. Just the shadow just kind of comes over the asteroid belt and just... And you can't, I mean, it's space. Well, no, but it's Star Wars. So yeah, you can, the rumble is
that my hangover, or is that something big in front of us?
That's something big, yeah.
Okay.
Probably both.
Hal just puts a hand on Turk's shoulder and like points up at where you can start to see the nose of the Star Destroyer coming over.
Yeah, Tala looking up and recognize that's basically a Vindicator class, which is it's the basic workhorse. It's the F-150 of the Empire, basically.
So they're still using the Venators?
No, Vindicator. The Imperial Vindicator class.
Vindicators. Yes. Okay.
Basic wedge shape. I mean, it's still a ship a mile long, which is 50 times the size of your ship.
Turk has started stuffing tissue into his ears just to kind of as a preventative measure.
I try and muffle that sound.
That's fair.
Where'd you get tissues in space?
It's one thing about Turk. He's always got tissues.
From the bathroom? I don't know.
Put that
it's from the freshman. Yeah, it's Star Wars. You don't know how to use the 3 shells? I mean, just cuss a lot. You'll be fine. Anyway.
We're not, they can't scan us, right?
They're probably not looking for us.
I mean, okay, yeah.
Yeah, unless they're looking, they're probably not going to notice.
Well, that's good.
Who would be dumb enough to be here?
Right. Now, I will say this, Tala, you know that Imperial doctrine is, yep, there they are, to launch a patrol of TIE fighters. So basically, as you're just thinking about that and looking it up, you see about 8 fighters just launch out of the bays and kind of go in pairs in different directions.
How close are the fighters to us? Like, are they in immediate danger? Do we need to take some evasive action here?
Not immediately.
Okay.
At some point, you guys are going to have to be sneaky to hide on this rock, or if you want to get closer, there are now patrols that we're going to have to dodge.
Okay. I'll point out the TIE fighters leaving the ship, and I'll just say, look, don't freak out just yet. That's a standard patrol.
It's not like they're looking for anything.
Yeah, it's something they literally do every time they jump into a system.
And from what I mean, if you watch Rebels and if you watch Clone Wars, it's they don't really have passive scanning in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Unlike like Star Trek, within Star Wars, they have to actively look for things because their passive scans are terrible, as is evidenced by the fact that the Ghost just shows up and like has a different transponder. Therefore, they're like, okay, yeah, you're fine.
Right. Fair enough.
So there's not like LiDAR that, oh, that ship looks exactly like the last ship that blew up our ship. Like, oh my God, maybe we should fight it.
It's an old code, but it checks out.
Yeah. Like,
I mean
like
Firefly.
It's all about codes and it's all about transponders. It has nothing to do with shape identification. So
Yeah, no one looks at a screen. That's God. Those guys are busy. Those guys are busy playing Galaga. They don't have time to look at the screen.
Forget which tech is what. So
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, yeah, that's Firefly has better visual recognition than Star Wars does.
And part of that is because of the era that Star Wars was imagined in. It's fine.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's all good. We're buying in. That's our genre trope. So yeah, exactly. I mean, think of it like submarine warfare. They could probably identify you with an active scan, but that's an act. They'd have to actually actively do that.
Yeah, they have
just
to
flying
hunt for
around.
us.
We're not going to ping just because they're near us.
Yeah,
correct.
Unless they're actively looking. Okay.
Yeah. And they have to be looking for energy sources to find us just sitting on a rock. If we're moving around, all of a sudden now we're an object that is differentiatable than the asteroids. But by landing on the rock, we actually are hidden until they start looking for us.
Got it.
Which is why there are so many shots in Star Wars of people hiding on rocks.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, also makes it easier for the modeling guys to not to hang, CGI.
The budget, our budget for the show is very low. So.
Or it's very high. It's unlimited because
that's right.
So, okay, what are we gonna do about this? I mean, we can't fight a Star Destroyer.
Can't fight 8, and we can't fight 8 fighters.
I mean, we
at
did
once.
4, okay, right?
I mean, and you do have access to a starfighter.
Well, the problem is not necessarily the 8 TIE fighters. It's the extra 8,
the
and then the extra 8, and then the extra 8 that are on the Star Destroyer itself.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the full complement of starfighters that is the problem.
Also, the Star Destroyer.
Vindicator carries 72, not counting bombers, and lots and lots of turbo lasers.
I'd say we could handle it if I didn't have this hangover.
Your confidence is appreciated, Turk.
I can fix that if you need.
No, let's not do that.
I have a solution that will approximately fix your hangover.
Can you put your finger down, please?
It's the future. The finger like opens and there's probably like a syringe.
There's a little syringe that just like there's the little like spray.
But I don't.
Not creepy at all, Hickson. No.
If he could smile, there would be a smile on his face.
I don't think we can go back to Sestoda at this point, considering how we left and what happened with that archive.
Well, we haven't.
I want to go back sometime to once the heat dies down.
Well, that may be...
I mean, so local systems from here. I mean, Sestoda is obviously not a far jump. Some of the other systems that we have handy. Our notes. grab. There's the Mirren system, Keth. There's also
the Lando system.
Lando system.
Sorry.
Technically, it's true.
It is a system.
No, but
Bespin is close to here. Okay.
Yeah, Bespin's not a far trip. Uton is Yuton is not far away. There's a big battle that is, I think, probably part of Wraith's background. It's one of the events and one of the things that I was going to kind of work into everyone. It basically a big battle during the Clone Wars took place there. So but I mean, what that basically means is there's kind of a lot of salvage and wreck in the system. The place is
which planet?
Uton, Yuton. It's one I made up, so it's
Okay.
not. You're not gonna
Okay.
find it on Wikipedia. Sorry. If you're like,
No.
wait, I'm not.
I was looking at the
Like-
timeline, so it's just sorry.
There was a battle probably that the commandos were part of in some way. We'll figure it out what happened there.
Because I know where Wraith's last battle was as part of the
Okay.
Clone War. So
That's probably okay. Well, where was that?
it was the assault on Majito, where Jedi Master Mundi died.
Mm-hmm.
As part of that assault, Wraith and his squad were doing something else, and they were out of contact with the Imperial Navy, and so they never received Order 66.
Nice. Okay. Until afterwards, and we're like,
yeah, they reported back, and the war was over.
like, guys, what the hell?
Yeah.
Fair. So, but okay, how under what circumstances did Hickson have anything to do with getting your chip out of your head?
It's possible.
Okay,
I have
fair
a
enough.
tool set.
It might have been before we all met up, and it might have been I paid someone under the market to do it, and they're like, "We have just the droid," and they knocked me out. And then I woke up, and Hicks is like, "I have completed," and I was like, "What the?" Because it's an HK.
There's an
assassin
There's
droid
an
with
assassin droid standing over me, and I probably
blood on its manipulators because head wounds bleed. You know, even if it's surgical, they just Anyway, no, I like that. That's a great scene. And you may not have seen each other for a while, but like, oh, okay, fair, got it. But yeah, Yutan was it was probably I'm gonna say a kind of late Clone Wars Confederate. A lot of the wrecks in orbit are like Lucre ships and Venators and older Republic stuff, and probably the Empire and a lot of other people are just basically go in and scavenging. Think of for people who play Fallen Order, it's like the scrapyard on Braca, only in space. It's not on the ground. People just tractor beam it and straight into like refinery ships and stuff like that to take it apart.
So it was mostly a space campaign, and so these are all about all a bunch of ships, like essentially like making a minor asteroid belt around this planet.
Probably. I mean, I imagine there was probably also some ground thing because refining things on the ground and things like that. But yeah, a lot of the industry is in orbit, because if all the shit's already in orbit, why try and get in and out of the gravity well? I mean, it's not that hard in Star Wars, but why do extra work?
Sure.
Anyway, but yeah, that's another good. There's probably a good bit of Bill of the Hutt's industry there as well, just for trading junk and things like that on the planet, because it's not as well tracked as it could be, just because so much stuff is going on. It's hard to keep track of somebody coming in orbit, because there's so much garbage and trash in orbit around the planet. It's not hard to smuggle in and land something there. So we'll pretend to be garbage for like 3 minutes until they lose track of us, and then as soon as we're out of sight of that, yes, now go in and land, kind of thing. But yeah, some of the other planets, Fondor is probably not far from here. Speaking of, yeah.
That sounded like a great response. Maybe we should go there.
Definitely going there.
I mean, yeah.
I would like to avoid that if at all possible.
All right, why wouldn't you want to go there?
Should we find a planet where we can send a message to Sestoda, alerting them to the presence of this?
Well, there might be people you should contact.
That's
Yeah.
probably not.
I don't know who would we even get in touch with on Sestoda that would be able to do anything about it.
Wraith knows, right?
Mm-hmm. Wraith would know someone. Zuri would know someone. And my question for Wraith and for Ari is, do you have the same contacts in the Rebel Alliance?
I was thinking it's Fulcrum, and if it's Fulcrum, then we both don't know who Fulcrum is, and it could be or it could not be.
Right, exactly. I mean, you may have different contacts, and you may... I mean, it's entirely possible that Ari just, like... I mean, somebody that your mother knows is another senator from Alderaan. It's a fellow named Bail Organa.
Bail Organa, yeah.
I mean, it's he probably kind of. I mean, he's doing what you've been wanting to do for a long time. He's, there may be a little bit of fanboy in there.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's like, oh no, I couldn't possibly. I mean, just sorry to bother you, Mr. Senator Organa, sir. But yeah, I mean, there's certainly if you used your mother's name, you could probably get in touch with him, kind of thing.
Okay.
But or do you have a regular contact with the rebellion?
I may have someone that's like friend of a friend,
okay,
kind of thing.
I mean, you have lots of friends of a friend,
yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Okay, so fair enough. It's
basically I have a contact who has a contact.
Yeah. Okay. But I get kind of the feeling that Ari's contact is a little more political than Wraith's is.
Mm-hmm.
Wraith's is a little more espionage and rebel cell kind of thing, and
action oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, of the two, I know who I would ask to get explosives. It's probably not Ari's contact.
Not the senator.
Yeah. I mean,
or whoever it is. Hickson, I think you're right. We probably should go somewhere, but where do we go, and who do we send a message to about this?
Well, I can get a hold of one of my contacts. We'll see where that will go.
I think if we go to the old Battle of Utah, we can drift for a while and get out without leaving a trail.
That's
but I know someone we can contact.
And I have all the data that I took from the Imperial facility on Sestota that we can pass along as well.
That detail this place?
Not detailed, but supplies, which I expect are coming here.
I mean, if you kind of relay some of the details that you pulled out of that, then yeah, it's basically Sestota is mining dunium, which is used for starship hull construction.
Yeah, so they're mining dunium because there are rich veins close to the surface, and it's being done by prisoners. There's a reference to a prison facility, but no clear indication of where it is. Manifests of everything that we didn't take, which is deck plating, gravity generators, cabling, the lovely trapezoidal windows. The VC system was mentioned a couple of times. And then I also got the head of the name of the head ISB agent, Torin Varn. So that is a summary.
Who we characters don't know about yet. Correct?
Yeah. Fair, yeah, exactly. You guys haven't had a run in with Torin Varn yet.
Well,
we have some dramatic irony going on that we don't know he's after us.
I mean, I would imagine. I mean, this is a great time for one of the Lucas wipes. Back to speaking of Sestota, back to a kind of a like the black sand of Scarif Beach, kind of this volcanic kind of beach area. You guys would recognize it as probably part of the Imperial complex that you raided a couple episodes ago, but this landing pad. And this kind of Imperial shuttle-looking thing, only painted completely black, landing and the wings folding up, and waiting with kind of that whole repulsor lift, wind blowing his uniform back, is Agent Torin Varn. It looks like he slept in his uniform. But I think it always looks like he slept in his uniform, whether the man sleeps or not. And but he's at attention, hands behind his back, kind of thing, while this shuttle lands. and the ramp comes down, and there are a couple stormtroopers come out, and floating down the ramp, feet not touching the ground, cloak billowing behind them, kind of wide hat, and this kind of plague doctored looking helmet is a figure, female, judging from the armor, just kind of comes down and says, Agent Varn, I hope our visit doesn't inconvenience you. And Varn's like, of course not. The base and the planet is entirely at your disposal, sister. Excellent. I'm going to need to see the swamps. Of course. And she kind of just, and he kind of, as she passes, you can kind of see Varn just kind of do the and turn and follow. And as he moves, so does the pan away from Sistoda and probably back to the ship. What have you guys been doing in the meantime? My question is, are we getting a closer look of this station, or are we bugging the hell out?
I think
I wrote for number 2.
The getting the hell out of here maneuver.
Well,
I think knowing it's here is about as much information as we need.
I can always hop in my ship and get a closer look if you want. Tell me what to look for.
I think that it'll take a co-pilot or / gunner.
I think a closer look is not a bad idea, but I think we are ill-equipped at this point in time to fool their sensors. If we were to go back to a shipyard and retool some things, and I were to have a contact that might be able to help us with their frequencies.
Oh, excellent.
Alan and I could grab parts and make some modifications. And
All right.
I love this. We're all working together. This is fantastic.
don't we always?
Oh, I love Hickson.
Wraith is turns and leaves.
That's got a little head shake.
Hal probably just like turns to Hickson and shrugs. They'll come around.
Hickson, I thought your protocol would tell you that that sort of positivity is not helpful for my hangover.
I'm sorry. Can I do something to help?
Are
Keep
you
it
in
down.
distress?
Just pipe down a little bit.
I'm sorry. Can I do anything else to
But
help?
you're doing everything now. Thank you. You're perfect. You beautiful
Happy
metal.
to be of assistance.
Yes.
Please state the nature of your medical emergency.
That might be the nicest thing he's ever said to you, Hickson.
Oh man, fair enough. Yeah, the warping out of the system basically is just a matter of waiting until the patrols kind of getting above the plane of kind of getting above the plane of the ecliptic, because everything is in 2D in Star Wars. The asteroid belt is all in one line. You just kind of get a little bit above it and poof, warp out until you kind of come to Uton, which is also it's a similar. It's a system with a binary star and a couple of habitable planets that are a little farther out because of the two suns, and the asteroid belt in this system, as well as the rings around the main planet, are all artificial and mostly composed of space junk and parts of ships. And it's one of those where probably dozens, scores of cruisers and battleships were cut apart by each other. There's bits of fighters and all that other good stuff, just kind of in the system. But coming in, it's one where it's nominally Imperial controlled, so you're still going to see stormtroopers on the ground, but I don't think it's again Dula, and there's still an underground. There's still a lot of stuff going on. It's kind of Tatooine-ish as far as the amount of control there. There's a governor. There's a Moff for the whole sector. You guys will probably know who the Moff of the sector is. Her name is Bayless Treen, and I'll put that in chat so that you guys can spell it. But yeah. Can't type and talk at the same time. Fair. But again, it's not not as strategic as it was during the Clone Wars at this point. It's one of those been subjugated for a while kind of thing. So these are stormtroopers with donuts in the other hand, I guess, probably. Move along. But yeah, managing to land is not too hard. Again, if you want to be, do you want to be sneaky about it? Do you want the Empire to know you're on the planet?
No.
Okay, well then, in that case, you're going to have to be sneaky to time it and to, use the debris. Again, that's an aspect you can tag if you need to for your.
Oh, I
roll.
need to. I rolled a 1.
Okay. Well, if you use the aspect massive debris field,
okay,
as cover, then yeah, you can pretend to be debris until you get close enough and kind of over the horizon from the Imperial patrol ships and things like that.
Okay.
Probably will force you to land far enough out of the main city of Utah that you'll need to take speeders in, but okay. That's exactly. Probably still rented from Sestota, if I'm not mistaken. That's gonna be
for a while.
That's gonna be a bill.
I hope they don't charge my credit card.
Your birds. Eventually. This is still an active ride for your bird scooter. Do you want to put more money on? Anyway. Oh. But yeah, kind of, the scenes in Rebels where you see the ghost like parked out in the middle of nowhere. This is Utah itself is a kind of mountainous planet. I'm thinking like kind of Rocky Mountain, Wyoming sort of terrain. That there are mountains, but kind of in the areas between them, it's real high plains. So it's a lot of kind of tall grass and things like that as well. So you've got a little kind of combination of mountain and prairie, and it's on the colder side. So
you bundle up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the Star Wars with warm jackets.
Oh,
kind of thing.
Extra ponchos.
Hickson's got a coat closet and he's like handing out warm clothing for extremities. Just like
I love Ray. It's like, yeah, 2 ponchos. Okay.
That's a 2 poncho planet.
Hickson takes his scarf and like wraps it around to like show people like how to protect.
Oh.
The scarf over like Hickson's mouth. Slit for his mouth.
Awesome, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's a big enough scarf that you kind of got this Invader Zim going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I also just love the idea of the giant assassin droid in a festive scarf. It's like colorful, like reds and greens and brown. Yeah.
It's like Jane from Firefly with his hat.
His hat.
You're not going to draw his at all.
That's... Hey, a droid walks down the street wearing a scarf like that. He's not afraid of anything.
Hickson, do you got anything more furry? More?
I believe we have something to accommodate. It's like a little poofy, like fur jacket.
That's a big, yeah. It's like
Turk checks the pockets or any compartments before he puts it on, but then depending on
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's like a coat check ticket in it. Like,
Turk hands it to him. Here, is this yours?
oh no, this was the previous owners of this jacket. Just like,
Okay. Put it back in my pocket.
Might be like a suspicious kind of reddish brown stain on the inside back of the jacket. But yeah, it's been sewn up. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's not like Hoth where you have to like bundle up and you have ice in your hair, but it's kind of one of those, it's low 40s, early 30s, and it's summer. So yeah. And I mean, probably wearing goggles and stuff to be on speeders. Just
I'll just be fashionable.
yeah. Ari's got fashion in the closet. It's all good. She looks.
Tala shows up with like a mid-thigh trench coat that's got lots of pockets.
Still manages to look vaguely imperial even without wearing any kind of uniform.
She's not very good at not being imperial.
Don't lie, because women's clothes have no pockets. So
hey,
it's Star Wars.
I didn't say this was a woman's trench coat.
Oh, okay.
This is a space fantasy, my friend.
I imagine that Hal is dressed kind of like Han Solo on Hoth with like a heavy coat and like hat and goggles, and then his belt over things with his mostly put together lightsaber on it.
I was going to say, that's the other thing about Star Wars. I'm not sure anybody has pockets because they always wear all those belts with pouches and crap all over them.
Utility belts.
I think these are both acceptable.
Do I have
I'm saying, I mean, I'm sure that pants do have pockets, but if you told me that even men don't have pockets in Star Wars, I would probably believe you because they just have belt pouches. So it's fine. Luke Skywalker never reaches into his pants for anything. It's always flipping stuff out of the. Yeah, I saw that. Is that a lightsaber, or are you just happy to see me? Anyway.
It's not noon yet here, y'all.
Anyway, we leave the ship.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, and Yutan is. It's probably in a mountain pass, so I'm kind of thinking, what if Boulder, Colorado, was like all Star Wars'd up?
Oh, okay. I've been there.
It's that or one of those Colorado towns where that used to be like a mining boom town. There's basically one street, and it's kind of the mountains kind of come down, so everything's just built on the sides of it. It can't all be built around the spaceport, so there's space for places for landing port for people who are officially landing here, and then you kind of have to still take. There's probably public transport because it's an ideal future, right? I mean, it's not Star Trek ideal, but still. But there are probably. I mean, there's probably riding animals and things like that in the street. These giant ass goats, or goat-looking alien beasts of burden. They're very furry, kind of. I'm going to call it cross between bison and goat. I don't know what I need to. Someone could put in chat a Star Wars name for a goat bison alien beast.
Chat. Multiple people at the same time, but giant ass goats.
Nice. Thank you. Yes, giant ass goats. Perfect.
Perfect.
It all depends on where you put the comma.
Thanks, guys. Oh, man. I appreciate it. But I mean, it's kind of in the same way that you see like the dewbacks and stuff in all the scenes in Tatooine and stuff like that. Is that they have these beasts of burden, but there's also speeder cars and bikes and things like that. It's that whole thing, and it does have that kind of a little bit of that. Not quite lawless frontier town feel to it kind of thing, but figuring out where everything, all the signs are in Arabesh, which everyone reads, but none of the audience does. So I mean, well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Maybe some of you do read all the Arabesh writing in Star Wars. Not a skill I've got, but yeah. What are we looking for? Tavern? What are we looking for in town? Where are we headed?
I assume Wraith has a contact protocol that they can use to essentially use an uplink that they can hijack and send the signal to their contact.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're kind of looking for the post office equivalent where you can, communications.
Sort of like taking a payphone that doesn't exist anymore, and just corrupting it to use it to, instead of making a collect call, making a secure call.
Well, you probably have one of the like a coded hologram disk.
Well, that's what I was thinking, sort of like that, but using the public transmission to boost the signal, because I'm trying to send it off off planet /
Yeah, I mean, well, exactly, yeah, but it's one of those. It's probably all like the encoding and encryption is probably in this, and
it just
if
attach
you
it to the
or you can if you're close enough, you can connect wirelessly or something. It just basically it may put you at a little risk because you have to either be in the office or somewhere close enough, which either you're in there where people can see or you're in the alley where somebody can go, what's that guy doing, kind of thing. But if the call is short enough and be like, whatever, give me a hard time, I will show you what I'm doing with my, would you like to see the barrel of what I'm doing?
Exactly. So Wraith will go try to do that.
Okay. That's basically brief scene is like kind of that blue hologram kind of thing. It's like, oh, okay, Agent Wraith. Basically the hologram it's someone who is in kind of one of those early rebel uniform kind of things, but from the neck up, the whole thing is just kind of fuzzed out and featureless. Just it's head shaped, but doesn't really necessarily give much of anything away about species. It kind of warps and changes shapes. Might be a Quarren, might be human, might be whatever. And the voice is obviously modified as well. Like, which I don't have a voice changer. That's But anyway, you get the idea. That Agent Wraith. This is Fulcrum.
Yes, Fulcrum. It turns out we found a new Imperial shipyard being constructed in the VC system just outside of Sistota. We, for right now, cannot return to Sistota, but we needed to let you know the Empire is building more. It looks like maybe even a newer class of Imperial Star Destroyer to replace the Vindicator class.
That's very serious news.
Tala looks extremely uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, are you kind of you're
I think I'm off by myself.
Yeah. He's probably off on just kind of wandered off on his own. I got a thing. Hang on.
Were, like guarding him while he was doing
straight
this
up.
Or not.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna give him a little basically brief scene while he's talking to Fulcrum. It was like I need to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna go over here to the
or I just Irish goodbye out of the party.
I was thinking we kind of like split up or something, and we're all.
Yeah, I mean everybody's kind of probably running errands. I'm gonna bet Tala and Hal are finding like a salvage yard to kind of look for parts and things like that. I think Ari was gonna do some contacts, and then I have to figure out what Hickson
was gonna suggest that him and Turk go look for work.
Turk would have wanted to go find like a spa or something to detox.
Well, there's the kind of saloon, but there's probably also a restaurant for people who are not day drinking, I guess, but that you can get food.
No, like can I get a bath or like a?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. I'm sure there's like a hotel.
Oh, so Hickson's gonna go look for work by himself. This is gonna be great.
Excellent, perfect. Okay. Good. All right, yeah. But yeah, this folks, he's like, okay, what kind of assistance? You say you can't go back to Sistota.
Currently, we have a ship, but it turns out we don't have the right scrambling technology installed yet. So we are working on that, and any assistance you could provide would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, and you're on in Utah now. Okay. If I can send you a code in a little bit, I will send it to your communicator. Ah, yay, thank you. Our title is now actually Star Wars instead of Dresden Files. Yay! For those of you who are wondering why this Dresden Files campaign seems a little weird, welcome to Star Wars. Yeah, basically, he's like, if we can help in any material way, we will. Maybe, if nothing else, some credits or something so that we can hopefully help ameliorate the cost of that modification.
Excellent. And once the modifications are complete, I hope to convince us to go back and get a closer look.
Be careful. And
always.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
But yeah, okay, fair enough. And yeah, Jay, Turk finds basically a nice spa hotel. There is, it's modern conveniences, I guess. It's got a nice refresher, and probably if you pay the extra, there's probably a spa, a organic equivalent of an oil bath kind of facility. Essentially a hot tub, I guess.
Yeah, even if it's like the Star Wars equivalent of a Deadwood,
the hot bath, but yeah.
Even if it's that, he'd be so down for that.
I mean, given the kind of the Western influences of this, it's probably very much kind of like those just set into the floor with all kinds of like Star Wars implements and things like that. There's like pipes and things that have like red lights and stuff on them that allow you to like Epsom salts and change the water temperature or the salinity of the water for non-humans or whatever, could probably even like force field rise up and just completely fill it with water if you're aquatic. It's you've got the money to get something fancy. So yeah, but probably basically the way it looks is very much like one of those Westerns where you just see them with their feet the whole, I guess, Geralt of Rivia pose, lean back out with your feet up, and bubbles for the rest.
Yeah, but if there's any offer, that Red Dead Redemption offer, he would decline to have his limbs scrubbed or whatever that weirdness is.
Never happened in that scene.
Good.
Frightening.
I mean, I'm actually just thinking of the scene from Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Somebody comes in somebody finds Turk, just like, I found you, blah, 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 and starts monologuing so that Turk can just shoot them.
Just be quiet.
Because of course he's got one of his guns under the water. But
oh yeah,
it's like, if you have to shoot someone, shoot. Don't talk. But fair enough. So Hickson looking for work. I mean, how are you going about? I mean, what kind of, just like a temporary brief job, or are you like looking for work for the crew?
I think probably information gathering, and
okay.
I think he like walks into the saloon.
Sure. the cantina band is dun, 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 dun.
I imagine the paint job has been switched back. I hope at least at this point.
Tyler definitely
not the Imperial paint job, still just black and red.
Because you guys have never changed that. Yep, that's.
No, I think it got changed in
probably got changed
while we were waiting for the Star Destroyer to pass. It was
I've had plenty of time to okay, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
He's still going to attract attention.
Well, yeah, I mean he's an HK,
yeah, exactly.
He's back to his normal white with like base white with the red sort of But not intimidating at all.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the cross. Like, there's a right over the eyes, war paint kind of thing. Yeah. So the scene I'm picturing, the cantina band stops. Everybody turns because because the doors iris open, and then iris closed behind you. And there's this quiet moment where everyone looks at the assassin bot that just walked in the room, and Hickson to everyone
Hello.
there.
Oh no.
Hi.
This couldn't possibly go bad. There's not a whole lot of response, but everybody's kind of waits to see what you do.
I just like walk up to the bar and like
Okay.
address the bartender.
Sure. He's like, good afternoon, stranger. How can we assist you today?
I hope we won't be strangers for much longer. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm
You can see the
HK-60SN.
sweat coming down.
the bartender, the one hand under the counter and the other hand is just like, and notices you're reaching a hand out. So he's like, okay, hi.
Shakes it.
He's gonna get this surprise, like, I got it back look on his face. Would you oil or a charging station or
Oil would be great.
Sure. And then he kind of like nods to the other, like a like young kids, a bar back kind of things. Kind of runs off.
Might I bend your ear for a second?
Like literally, or
no? Sorry, I'm trying to learn turns of phrases.
Of course. How can we help you? This is like the iris opens and like a couple people leave. Just trying not to look like they're in a hurry, but
my companions and I are new here, and I was wondering if there's any information you would care to share.
Okay.
So I think I have something for this, actually.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
The overcharged motivator.
A bonus to being flashy, and if you need to, you've certainly been relentlessly chipper, so that's definitely available.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead and give me a flashy roll and add that +2.
So that's a 1.
That's a 1.
I'll throw on the
but you've been relentlessly chipper for a 3, a good result, and yeah, basically the around you, that kind of the little bubble that around you that can hear this conversation is kind of like well, if he's a HK droid, I have no idea what is going on. So either he's legit not, or we're going to be dead in a very weird way. I don't know. Play along, I guess.
I'm going to enjoy it while I die. This is weird.
It's just like, maybe if we keep talking, we'll get out of this. I don't know. It's one of those. Yeah, they're definitely playing keep talking and no one explodes. But yeah, work like work that your kind normally get involved in, or
oh no, I'm actually a repurposed medical droid.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's well, I mean, okay. There is, I mean, the Imperials maintain sort of a medical field. There's a doctor, kind of a
How about an
intrepid
band of adventurers?
Oh, okay. So you're the representative they sent. I see.
They were all busy. I took it upon myself.
Yes.
Adam's reaction to this is perfect.
Well, you might talk to Sander. He's he kind of represents some of the entrepreneurs guilds in town. He may be busy upstairs for a minute, but I'm sure we can send someone up.
I can wait.
Okay. Sure.
Just like,
about about appropriately. This is when the bar back, the kid comes back with this. Basically, it's kind of a contraption which clearly has like kind of a WD-40 kind of oily liquid in it. Yeah, it's one of those that probably just like clicks into an injector port or something like that. How droids ingest oil, or it's not one of those you just like pour it over your head.
Well, yeah, it's not like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. Where
But I mean, there's actually, but there probably is like a lubricant intake port or something like that. We're like, okay, sure, yeah. It's like, hey, you know what? It's probably is nice to have a little bit of that self-maintenance. Self-care is important, everyone. Take a moment.
But yeah, so
yeah, fair enough.
Fantastic.
So and then he's kind of in low power mode. It's like the lights in the eyes kind of just dim a little bit while he just kind of stops moving. He's literally waiting, isn't he?
Yep, he's literally waiting.
The bartender is like, I'm going to help all the people that are on this far end of the bar. There's like 3 or 4 bar stools between you and everyone else. Just kind of, as this conversation has happened, the space around you has just grown. Fair. All right. And so probably Tala and Hal. I mean, there are multiple scrapyard places in town that, or probably even farther out by the docks for you be able to find parts, or just kind of like, hey, we're looking for.
Yeah, we're looking for. I would say, correct me if I'm wrong here, Hal, but I'd say we're looking for anything that we can use. I don't think Star Wars technically has like cloaking devices per se, but like, do they? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they have. I mean, they're not like 100% common technology, but yeah.
Yeah,
and
well, okay.
they're
so
usually on massive ships.
Yeah, that would be awesome if we could find a cloaking device that we could adapt to the Vagabond.
Yeah.
But that's like the pie in the sky goal.
Sure.
Like more achievable goal probably is anything that we could get that would be considered some sort of stealth technology. So like.
No ship that small has a cloaking device.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I'm thinking of the Firefly episode where they have to get into the hospital, and that scene where Kaylee gets to go to the junkyard and just has like the best time. Basically, for a few credits, the guys at the yards is take all the time you need to look. If you find something, bring it up here, and we'll talk price.
Tala just went to Toys R Us.
Yeah.
It's actually, I mean, and it's one of those. There are parts of whole ships. Basically, I mean, there's like sections of corridor that are in almost pristine shape, except that they were clearly burnt off and exposed to space on either end. You kind of walk in and go, it's a whole door unit here. I could,
well,
if
and a lot of this tech is Imperial, right? Like,
yeah,
exactly. So Tala knows Imperial schematics inside and out.
Yep. You may. It's one of those things. If you took a second and maybe with a data pad, or almost given some of the stunts you have almost in your head, could maybe even design like something like a cloaking device that might, it might be a one-shot thing. It might burn out, but it's one of those, okay, here's some of the parts we're looking for kind of thing.
Yeah, Tala gets out her data pad as she's like wandering through these ruins and just starts, Hal, if you look over her shoulder, she's got like almost like a CAD style program up where she's like sketching out different things, and then she turns it around and shows it to you, and she says, Hal,
yeah,
let's go look for these parts, and she pulls up a list.
Yep.
I think
it's kind of
okay.
Yeah, I'm getting the idea. It's kind of like, okay, you have it like a circuitry design, and now you've just got to Apollo 13 it.
Yeah.
Like, we need to build this out of this.
Yeah.
Right.
She says, "You go take that," and she points at a wreck, and she like pulls like scrolls through her list of like all these parts, and she points at like a couple of them. She's like, "These should be in there, and I'll be over here."
Okay.
Nice. Why don't you, for this design, give me a clever roll, because you are solving a puzzle in a way, and yeah, definitely Master Engineer will help you with that.
I figured as much.
To design, build, or modify a machine. So yeah.
So that's gonna be a 6.
Okay, that is a fantastic roll. So yeah, designing this is fine, and basically you can, like, okay, given the ships here, we're probably Venator, Lucre Hulk, and maybe some CIS, and you kind of like can compare that to part designs and go, yeah, basically kind of what you're telling Hal, you're probably going to find these parts here, probably going to find these parts here. Excellent. And then the next part will be getting them out of the machine. But yeah, you could probably design, this thing will probably be about the size of like a bar fridge, but
Okay.
but it'll do, you know, but it's one of those, yes, if you could just build it from scratch, a lot of this could be done on a circuit board, but you're having to
Cannibalize parts
kind
of
of
this.
clunk it together. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, but yeah, fair enough. And
Yeah,
that actually will probably be a cloaking device with more than one invoke on it. So cool.
Tala's like, after like 15 minutes, Tala's got like her hair pulled up and like is like ripping up chunks of floorboard in these corridors looking for parts.
Jackets off. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Fair enough. Yeah. But and so I would say for probably getting parts out, that's probably going to be careful. And I don't think Master Engineer is going to help you.
That's fair.
Taking stuff apart, but just I think that goes there would help if you need it. And for Hal, I think that kind of the same. You're probably looking at careful there as well.
Okay.
But you have a couple other abilities that you can use, maybe to visualize what you need and where it might be. And
I was gonna say, I can get a +2 when I use careful to create an advantage when I'm visualizing the future.
Visualize a cloaking device.
So can I use careful to create an advantage that's something like
Hal is very much a plan your work, work your plan kind of guy.
Right. Cowabunga it is not the way he wants to do this.
So I rolled a 2 for careful, and I will go ahead and spend a fate point to tag. I think that goes there.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Get a 4.
Okay, great. Literally great result.
3 for careful.
Okay.
I think I'll leave that.
Well, if that's for creating your advantage.
Oh, yeah.
Then that would be a superb, which will give you 2 aspects of probably something along the lines of knowing where to look, I guess is what we can call that.
Okay, cool. And then it'll be another careful roll to the actual searching. Okay.
Yep.
It's a 3 again.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh.
But again, you've got a free invoke to tag too.
I'll tag that then to pump that up to 5.
Yep. And yeah, fair enough. Basically, what comes down to it is one of the last pieces you need is trapped under a bunch of other stuff that guys would probably need a crane to get at. It's like a power core or an important, probably computer part or something like that. I'm gonna say probably a power core
or a droid. If we went and found Hickson, could he help us lift this?
Well, I mean, size doesn't really matter, does it, Hal? There are ways to solve problems.
There are, but is anyone around?
I mean, not really. Most of the guys that operate the junkyard kind of stay in the office or up by the part crusher and
kind of look. Do we have something that we can grab the part like real fast?
You got somebody named Tala. The only
I
risk
got you.
the only risk is you've got, like a heavy starship part.
I think we can get it without bothering anyone, but you'll have to be quick.
I will be as quick as I can be.
All right.
Very carefully,
Okay.
you will.
All right.
Use the force.
So I assume that's a careful roll then.
I actually probably forceful, but you've got a very careful aspect that you can tag still. I'll say you're being careful enough that you know where to lift as opposed to where to look. So yeah, you've kind of got it.
So it's forceful, but I can still tag that other thing. Okay.
Forceful, you have that tag, and then Tala, you're going to need to roll. And okay, but I'm assuming you're tagged this thing.
I'm going to spend a fate point to tag the.
Okay, Tala, roll quick.
Yep, I figured that was coming. Okay, well, quick is one of my other best approaches, so it's a 2.
Okay.
Is that enough?
I think I think at this point the above you're at it. You kind of got your tools out, and the one of the nuts on it is basically worn to hell, and so you're going to have to cut it with a laser. And while you're getting in there to cut it, it's starting to shake a little bit because, well, honestly,
it's a lot.
Yeah, and honestly, you're not a real Jedi. There's a fate point for you.
Ooh. Ooh.
So
I'm sorry, but that was great.
As this starts to slip and this kind of starts to, and like looks like it's and so Ari.
Yes.
This kind of starts to rumble, starts to come down, and instead of the thing coming down, it's a wipe screen to where Ari is contacting someone. How is that going to go? Is it somebody you know? Because I mean,
well, yeah, it's somebody I know who knows.
Mm-hmm.
Knows who knows who knows.
Fair enough.
Like maybe
okay.
Let me think. Could it be? I'm trying to think. Who would I know that would be in touch with the rebellion?
Well, I mean, this is a situation where if you're trying to get a hold of a senator, then you're really just kind of going straight through. You can use government channels.
Yeah, I can use my mom's stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can basically, it's placing a call.
Okay.
Though you may have to be a little maybe have to be a little careful about how you word things.
Okay. I can roll for that.
Yeah. Just kind of carefully getting a message to
Ew, I got a 1.
Okay.
Wait, what? 2. Sorry, 2.
Okay. If you're happy with 2, that's fine. But you do have an aspect, Rebel of the Family, which might come in handy.
Yeah. I think I will use that because this is kind of important.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So we'll call it a great result. And it's you're probably, I mean, it's probably basically in like the diner or whatever, kind of in a booth, like calling or whatever. And yeah, you're on hold for a little bit, kind of passed around to a couple of people, but eventually you get to the hologram kind of comes up, and it's kind of a younger looking Rhodian in very nice outfit. Basically, it's like Senator Organa's office.
Yes. Can I?
Oh, lost sound for a second.
Oh, it wasn't you. It was me. I accidentally hit
Oh.
the mute button.
Sorry. I was like, I lost you for a second there. But yeah, it's Senator Organa's office. Miss
Schiff.
As in the Senator of Fondor. Yes, Miss Schiff. Can I direct you? Is there a message to pass on, or do you just needed to speak with the? Right. One moment. Let me see if the senator is free.
Thank you very much.
There's, I guess, whatever hold hologram. It's probably a kind of an Imperial Senate logo or whatever. Or
Hold
actually,
music.
well, I mean that, or or you know what? It's probably like Tourist Bureau of Alderaan. Come visit beautiful Alderaan. It's like panoramas, and you probably just like quickly mute the sound, but there's still like lovely mountain vistas and so on and so forth, and yeah, and shortly after, it's Jimmy Smits on the hologram, who I can't do justice voice wise, but this is Miss Schiff. To what do I owe the pleasure?
I have some information that you might find of interest.
Is this particularly sensitive information?
Yes.
Right. Can I contact you at this com address?
Yes.
I will set up something secure.
Thank you.
Click, click. And the hologram just kind of quickly disappears and just boom, boom. And shortly thereafter, it's like boop, 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 like a call on your holo, and like back up. And he just looks much more serious. I'm like, I have to admit, this is a little bit of a surprise. I'm guessing you're not representing your mother.
No.
Fair and understood.
And if I was, I wouldn't be telling you this.
Interesting to know. I suspect maybe we can be friends. Useful and interesting information, you say?
Yes.
What is this costing me?
How about a favor?
Within reason. How about we decide what the information is and then determine the favor?
My ship made a very hasty run to the Visi system. No, is that it? Visi system? No, that's the wrong one.
No,
that is right.
VC's correct. Organa just looks confused and like, okay, but why? There's nothing there.
And that's the big question. Apparently there is something there. I didn't know if maybe you knew anything about that.
To my knowledge, it's not even a jump point. It's just if you need to change course to go to Sistoda off the hyperlane.
My crew and I have discovered that what appears to be an Imperial base in the asteroid belt.
Well, interesting.
It's not completed, but it's there.
Like training for troops, or
no, more like building very large ships.
You don't say. Well, what are we to do about this? I mean,
I'm trying to equip my ship to better investigate this problem.
Okay.
But any help you could provide would be greatly appreciated.
Sure. What kind of ship are we talking about? What are you flying?
I tell him.
The vagabond is like, well, 1300 is easily modified. I can give you some names, and there's a fellow I know and some people I have contacts with in the Bespin system that can probably hook you up with some modifications.
That would be greatly appreciated.
Faster hyperdrive, sublight. I don't know how you're equipped for weapons and shields. And maybe, we might be able to work out some credit arrangements. Some of the a senatorial slush fund here.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Oh, I appreciate your call. Feel free to use this line. If nothing else, leave a message here, and I'll be able to get back to you. It's secure to me.
Oh, good. I'm sure we'll be in touch.
Perfect. Good luck, and I may contact some others if they come to you and use my name.
Okay.
I don't necessarily say trust them, but chances are good. Contact me and I'll confirm.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
May the force be with you.
And you as well.
And also with you. And
Also with you. Wrong religion.
Oh, anyway, yes. But yeah, fair enough. So leaving you in suspense long enough. I guess we'll go back in a second because I've lost Danielle. We'll go back to Hickson in the bar.
Does Wraith show up at this point? I imagine Wraith.
Probably, yeah. He's after making his phone calls. Yeah. Though he doesn't necessarily, I don't know if he would necessarily acknowledge the clanker as he walks into the bar, but
yeah, I don't. I mean, he wouldn't ignore Hickson, but he would see Hickson just standing there, charged in lower power mode, and be like, walk over to him, like, "What are you doing, clanker?"
There's just a moment of like, the power comes back on, a turn of the torso, and oh, hello, I'm waiting, and then turn back and power back down.
Right. Look for someone who is not Hickson.
right.
What's happening here?
There's a bar. Yeah, he came in looking for work and is waiting for Sander to come down from upstairs. I mean, when Sander's finished with his business, I'm sure he'll be happy to talk with someone about. He said something about a band of adventurers. So,
all right. I suppose that's all right.
Sander's usually good for unusual work. If I can tell by your face, you know your way around a blaster.
Funny, you've got jokes. I like it. Give me an L.
There's a power up sound from next. Put on my tab and then power back.
We're running a tab for the droid now. Okay. I mean, he kind of looks at the bar back's like, we run tabs for assassin droids. We do. Anyways, it's like, yeah, okay. You kind of grab your ale. And after a while, basically, you hear spurs. And from upstairs, spurs, chaps, just outfit, and not a hat, but this Rhodian comes from upstairs. I mean, because if you're gonna, I mean, honestly, if you're gonna ride one of those big ass goat bison things, spurs are probably going to be useful. So But yeah, this guy kind of swaggers down the stairs and up to the bar and gets a drink. And the bartender says, Sander, these gentlemen were waiting to speak with you. Well, he's like, all right, drinks, and we'll be at my usual table. And there's like a little alcove round table a la the cantina in Star Wars, a little round booth kind of thing. Because that's where you negotiate all sorts of deals, right? And
I'm just picturing Hickson trying to like sit down and like scooch over into this booth that is not built for a giant assassin droid.
it probably like retracts his legs and repulsor lifts over or something. Yeah.
It's loud. It's like it's Men in Black dragging the chair, like the table over and everyone just like sits there and watches him slowly get in.
Everyone else in the by everyone else, there's like maybe like 8 to 11 people in the bar here total. And yeah, but everyone else is like trying so hard to mind their own business. Just trying.
It's so difficult
hard.
though.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, don't look, don't
And there's this just like over like politeness from Hickson, like sorry, my apologies, sorry for interrupting, my bad, sorry.
Okay, the band kind of starts up, and it's like a cantina droid. It's like an animatronic. There's like the top half of like the little clarinet playing thing, and the piano player, but it's clearly just an ostentatious jukebox essentially.
Mm-hmm. It's like the Muzak version of Jizz.
Essentially, and yeah, but it's like a jukebox droid. So it is aware of the room and can kind of play music that's appropriate, and of course stop playing when somebody comes through the saloon door, and kind of the droid equivalent of the droid equivalent of the saloon piano player, sort of.
So after Hickson gets himself seated, Wraith just like tips back the drink and just sets it down and like okay, and sits next to him.
Yeah, and the Rhodians kind of sits across him. Has got the whole where one eye squishes and the other's is like, all right then, gentlemen. Hi, Sander Whiff. I kind of broker work for folks on Uton.
Hi, I'm HK-60SN or Hickson.
Hi, Hickson, and I bet you have a designation as well, Trooper.
Yeah, that
is Trooper kind of it.
That time's over.
Is Trooper kind of an insult for someone that's a commando?
No. I mean, he's used to it just because literally all clones look alike. So,
yeah. I mean, I get it's like
except for Troop 99.
There's probably like a little gritting of teeth, like, but yeah, I don't have the bucket on, so we can't tell. So,
yeah. You can just call me Wraith.
Excellent, Wraith and Hickson. You're new. I mean, I do have some things, but they're kind of proving jobs. If that's, I don't know you. I don't want to risk something really vital on.
Sure, of course.
I do have a thing, a delivery that's kind of gone wrong. Well, sort of wrong. Decent bounty hunter, terrible pilot. And I actually got this call a minute ago. He needs some help in the ring because his repulsor lifts are down. If he enters atmosphere, he's going to, burn up. But the ship has something of mine or something we're contracted to retrieve. Maybe you could pick it up.
Does Wraith know anything about this man and or his dealings?
Yeah, I mean, give me probably, I guess I would say reading that or just kind of a knowledge check. You do recognize that kind of one of the pins he's wearing has a symbol of the Hutt families.
Okay.
So, I mean, he's got that going on. Probably don't know him personally.
Sure. So just I was trying to place like Black Sun, Pikes, Huts, like where Crimson Dawn, like where does he fit in? He's
I mean, on it. Okay, if you start looking for stuff like that, he has got like a Hutt pin, but like there's like Black Sun embroidery on like you kind of get the independent contractor, you know.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure if I had a
yeah. I mean, you're kind of working for somebody who's playing a lot of sides. There's probably a lot of representatives here.
Sure.
So that might be a question worth asking. It's like, you know.
Well, our associate has a ship. We could help, provided the pay is right.
I mean, honestly, just for getting him out of orbit down, I'm sure he wouldn't mind parting with 10% of his bounty. I mean, fair. It's a couple thousand credits
for a simple job, of course.
I mean, yeah. Pick up, maybe help with a repair, or leave him up there. Whatever. That's his problem getting down. As long as I get the cargo.
Just curious, what's your bounty hunter's name? That's right, DM. Doesn't it suck when players ask people's names?
No, it's fine. I totally planned for this.
Totally has a name.
It'll just take them a second to look it up.
Yeah. No, I just have to check my notes.
Let him check the Rolodex.
I have it in my data pad right here, which I am checking now.
He's an Iridorn. He's an Ithorian.
Okay.
And his name is Trua Wa. Trua. I'll put it. You know what? I'll just put it in chat. It's or in roll 20 chat. Yep.
Don't see many Ithorian bounty hunters.
Well, you don't see any bounty hunters if they're good.
Yeah.
But I think he prefers to think of himself as more of a smuggler. But
well, what do you think, Hickson?
I think it sounds grand.
You're helping people, right?
So we'll have to check with the owner of the ship. It's not my ship to fly. I'm mostly the person that shoots people, and he's mostly the person that makes sure their insides don't come out as much as possible.
Unless intended.
Unless intended.
I imagine you're very good at intended.
Yeah. Well, if it's amenable to the crew, we'll comms you.
Excellent. Fair enough. I'll be here. Let me know. And he basically refills your cups.
my oil cup.
Yeah, essentially.
We'll go find the rest of the crew that's definitely up to shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I know that there's a couple of them who are in the
CJ,
junkyard right now.
CJ, if you want to give us a little bit more of a dramatic pause, we could go for a short break and come back.
Since it is a little late for us to do that, why don't we take that break? I'm sorry, I should be looking at the clock better. Yeah, well, this is a good point. We'll find out whether the starship crashes down on Talavale in about 10 minutes when we come back to Star Wars Vagabonds. Guys, have everybody at home get some drinks. This is a good time to donate to ACLU if you feel like doing that. We're just happy you're here. So we'll see you in about 5. Hey everybody, welcome back to Star Wars Vagabonds. We are having shenanigans on the planet Utah with a ring of space junk above, and speaking of space junk hanging above people, we're going to cut to Turk Bango in the hotel, where he's been having a bath and relaxing and room service. And
so I imagine we cut back and Turk is like has a bathrobe on and he's really freaking out because he was messing with like a crack in the tub with his toe while he was in there, and it sprung a leak, and so water's just pouring out of this tub, and he's like looking around trying to mop it up because he doesn't want to have to pay for it. He's just grabbing things and pulling them in to see if they absorb water.
It's like dripping wet because every towel in the place is like, fair enough. Yeah, give me a clever roll to try and operate a repair here.
I wasn't thinking I'd make a roll, but here we go.
Let's see how this goes.
Oh, I hit careful.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah,
you want clever?
Yeah, so we want to do clever. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and re-roll that -3. Let's be nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, damn.
All right. Solving puzzles is Turk's forte. So yeah, basically it starts leaking and things like that. You basically grab the towel, a couple towels, and start putting them on the outside of the tub, and then like, grab it and kind of put it on the inside so that the water pushes up against the towel and seals it. I mean, it's still gonna drip and leak slowly, but enough time to like set that to drain or whatever, and it's probably there's still like wet on the carpet because you were probably in the tub, and there's getting nice and wrinkly, and
and he
not like, oh shit.
He grabbed like a small potted plant and like put it underneath, like just right underneath the drip as part of it. So there's just a really weird scene of a lot of wet floor and a plant getting watered by a tub.
Fair enough. And yeah, it's probably you're kind of in the towel figuring this out, kind of like looking at the floor, like what am I gonna do about it? And there's kind of like the room's messaging system basically says there's a reply to your message.
Okay.
And
can I look at it now?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. But this is something that Jake and I have talked about, and yeah, there's a reply to the message, and you kind of we get the shot is all of like from Turks. We don't see the data pad, but reacting to the like an acknowledgement of earlier. Yeah, so all good stuff.
Yeah, his face is just like.
And now I'll have mercy on Zach and Danielle, and we'll cut back to the junkyard, where basically, yes, because he's not a real Jedi, he's starting to lose control of this. Like, it's probably part of I'm gonna say it's probably part of Arc 170, like a big chunk of the fuselage, which is plenty heavy, and Tala's like, hurry. Scramble. And why don't you give me one more forceful and one more quick? Forceful from Hal and quick from Tala, of course.
I'm gonna spend a fate point or do I still have a tag on the thing I created earlier? Is that?
I mean, it's still there, but it's one of those you'd use a fate point to use it. We've used both of our free invokes. Yeah, because Tala's quick is not as quick as I like.
Yeah.
I will definitely spend a fate point to tap it to get my forceful up to 5.
Okay, so kind of what I'm picturing here is not so much that Hal is able to hold up the starship as much as holding up the starship with one hand and reaching out, and Tala, you're kind of scrambling and just kind of just in midair, just kind of get pulled. Where the ship kind of comes down, and it's just covered in dust, like kind of sliding onto your back at Hal's feet, like just kind of holding the power core, like
Just
like a foot
curled up in a ball around this power.
Yeah,
cord.
basic. Yeah, it's just one of those. Yeah, it's to not to kind of preview tomorrow, but basically you've kind of just come across just like landed in the end zone with the cradling the ball, just making sure you have possession. And I'm like,
and just roll a house feet, and Tala looks up at him and says, "Good work."
He's probably like got his hands on his knees, kind of doubled over.
I'm sure no one's coming to look at the loud bang that's just happened.
I mean, actually, yeah, no, people are kind of starting to like,
I'll stand up.
We should go.
Yeah.
There's a couple of Ugnots, so the people that were, kind of running the junkyard, kind of.
He'll like help her up.
Yeah, I'll stand up with the part in my hand. I'll be like, "It's okay, Hal. It's okay." And I'll turn to the Ugnots and just be like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We removed a part, and the whole thing kind of just came tumbling down. Terribly sorry."
So precariously balanced. Just all right. Yeah, I mean, I would make you roll sneaky, but they're like, sure, happens all the time.
Yeah, it's got to be a common occurrence.
Basically, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just like, oh, all right, well, and they just kind of start going over, just not really to verify your story, but just kind of seeing if anything's come loose, and if they can pull, like, can we get the valuable components that we couldn't get to before? Kind of,
Yeah, I mean, I'll like point out if anything did get shaken loose in that fall, I'll point it out to them. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that part there is worth at least 500 credits.
One I'm going to give you that's like sort of. Well, I mean, as ugly, Ugnots are pretty good at ugly looks anyway, but it's kind of like a lady we know our job kind of, like, yeah.
I'm just trying to help.
But yeah, you kind of got your stuff in a pile in an area, probably where your jacket is and all this kind of other stuff. So yeah.
Tala's made a little sledge out of her jacket with all the parts of it.
Just kind of like, I mean, that's. But you think you've got everything. But
Hal will put his coat over Tala so that she stays warm, and then make some comment about things not being as cold anymore.
Nice, yeah, fair enough.
Thank you, Hal.
But yeah,
that's very kind of you.
I mean, least I could do for kind of yanking you around. I'm sorry.
It was no, it's okay. I would much prefer to have my life and my limbs.
Yeah, I would really rather you be in one piece.
Safety first.
Yeah.
All that dust kicks up. You might be a little thirsty. I don't know, but there is a saloon or a diner in town, whatever.
Yeah, well, we gotta pay for our parts, so
that's fair.
Yes.
That's fair. Yep. Okay, that is probably again negotiating with an Ugnaught. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I will definitely try to haggle them down as much as I can.
Okay.
But
the difficulty of this obstacle is great. What they want for all of the parts you've grabbed is about 4,000 credits.
Okay.
That's
it's not
honestly a fairly fair price.
Yeah, it's a fair price.
But they would probably be insulted if you didn't haggle with them.
Oh yeah, no, I fully intend to haggle, and I'll do it the same way I haggled on Sestota, where I like pull out like some of the parts, and I'm like, no, I cannot pay.
Yeah, I mean,
300 credits for this. Look at the scratches on this. I'm gonna have to solder buff all that out. I'm gonna have to solder these two pieces together. It's a lot of work on my part just to make this usable.
Yeah. I think basically he actually probably they're probably a reasonable price is about 4, and he starts out at like 7 because you have to. It's like, but how would I feed my children? Kind of, just this kind of.
And Stella shrugs and she's like, "Get some better parts, I guess."
She's, I love. There's a back and forth of like, but this is an insult to not just me, but my clan and my species, and I can't do any better than 5.
And Tala's like, well, it's just not worth 5, is it? And there are other salvage yards I could go to.
Fine, 3.5 is my. That is you're stealing from me. May as well take a finger. He's only got like 3.
Too bad
on the hand.
Hickson's
He's
not there. I'd actually take that thing.
Yeah, 35 seems pretty reasonable after like haggling him down.
Yeah, he's actually like tied there for a minute. It's that whole game. Yeah, it's like take it away. I'm wounded. I like it's like that. It like turns and briefly like okay.
Meanwhile, Tyler just like loads up all the parts onto.
There's like probably like her little repulsor sled that you can borrow to. Yeah, they're no one's going to begrudge you the shopping cart as long as you return it.
Yeah, I'll bring it back after we put it.
We're just going to put it with our rented speeders from System. Just like collect.
Well, there are probably like anything like shopping carts. There are probably these little repulsor lift sleds, just like in alleyways, for the same reason like you see shopping carts on the side of the road within like a mile of a Walmart. Just like why? But okay, sure.
Yeah, we'll put everything in there, and Hal, do you want? You look a little bit rattled. Do you need a drink? A meal?
I'm just drained. Yeah, food. Food would be great.
All right. I think I saw a place where we get something to eat.
All this scavenging makes the man hungry.
Yes, that makes sense. I mean, we were just shifting through quite a bit of debris.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes, let's
drink might not be bad either.
Let's go find something to eat. I think we could probably.
Yeah, you guys are probably about headed for the diner about the same time that Hickson and Rafe.
Yeah, it's a good chance to regroup.
Yeah, and Ari is already there, and Jake. At this point, so yeah, so suddenly like the waiters, they're like, oh, I see. We're gonna have to put a table together. Hang on.
Yeah, and Tala and Hal just show up with a mound of parts.
I can stand. I'm not eating.
Yes. Okay.
What's worse, Hickson standing at the table or sitting?
Just like hovering over, yeah. Table for 5 and a droid, please. But yeah, there's not like it's kind of one of those counter or diner kind of things where you seat yourself anyway. So yeah, just kind of pull an extra table on the end. Everything kind of gets in. With Ari, who's just enjoying probably a sandwich or some kind of little meal and something to drink. And yeah, just kind of everyone back together to kind of catch up on what's been going on. But yeah.
We got the part.
I broke a tub.
What?
You broke a tub?
Yeah, I broke a tub with my toe.
Broke the hotel.
I was messing with it. I was in the tub and just absent-mindedly messing with it, and it just started pouring water out the side. I fixed it with the towel though. So Tala, you would have been proud. Same with you, Hal. It was just like it. I've learned something watching you two work on things.
I honestly don't think I can ever say I've repaired something with a towel, Turk. So, you are in a league all your own.
Fantastic. Yes.
So fair enough.
So it turns out we might have a job. There's a smuggler, bounty hunter, blockade runner. They're up in the ring, and apparently their repulsor lifts are broken, so they can't land.
I found work.
Yeah, somehow Hickson found work.
Oh. Well, we could probably use the credits. We did just spend quite a few on, and she indicates the giant pile of parts. But I think I'm going to be able to cobble together quite a nice little device out of this, so worth it.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still waiting for a contact to get back to me. So sticking around here for a little bit longer is probably worth it.
I would
So
agree.
But it's your ship, Ari.
I know. I was put into contact with a couple names out Bespin way from one of my contacts. So they said that they might be able to make some alterations to the ship to make it more conducive for the jobs that we are going to be doing.
That's not a bad idea either.
A shipyard would be nice.
Okay. So yeah, and at this awkward moment, like the little waitress droid, the boy comes up with like this kind of little data pad. Would you like to order?
Cut to the shawarma scene at the end of Avengers. Like just everyone's quiet and is eating.
Take it to go.
What is it like ingesting?
I mean, you know exactly how it works.
I understand the the mechanical processes of it, but
He knows the
What does
biology,
it
but not the
feel like?
experience.
yes.
Now I'm just picturing Hickson just like leaning in. It's like, mastication is fascinating.
Just like looking right at probably Ray's mouth, just like
Pretty sure I have a droid popper somewhere in here.
Nice.
How much? Just out of game, how much does a droid cost, and how much money do I have left from my gambling winnings?
I mean, yeah, you'd probably. I mean, just even in evening drinking is not going to be 1,000 credits. You're probably still at like 24 some. From what we were talking about earlier, paying off debts, maybe knock off like 5. So you're probably like 19 and change as far as. I mean, it depends on how much you wanted to pay the debt down. 5, you could pay down 10.
And how much does a droid, like an R6 unit or something, cost?
With some negotiation, I mean, it's something that Lars Owen could afford as a moisture farmer. So, I mean, probably, like 6 to 10 range, depending. Yeah, what bells and whistles you'd like to have on that. I mean, R2 has so many attachments and things that if anybody actually paid fair price for him, he'd probably be incredibly expensive.
I think Turk would just keep an eye out for an R6 droid. The main thing he'd want is a certain personality motivator, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
That's as close to something like Chopper as possible.
Okay, fair enough.
Why? Why?
I have ideas.
It's like, what kind of asshole cat would you like your R droid to be?
I have some. It has to do with Hickson and.
Just need a balance. Just.
I mean, honestly, if you go droid shopping, there probably is a stall, a stand, probably just kind of on the edge of town where, like, certain days of the week, the Jawas come into town. I mean, this is absolutely a system in which you would find Jawas.
Okay.
Because junk everywhere.
Are Jawas like an invasive species or something? Like,
I mean,
I think they kind of are. I think they actually kind of are. I think they're not necessarily an invasive species, but they're like an extreme nomad species that just go where the stuff is.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can just imagine the Jawas like hearing in a bar about all the stuff on Uton and just like, Titi, and just like an entire clan just lifting up and we're gonna go there because junk literally falls from the sky sometimes.
I think they do tend to congregate on more desert-y ecosystem planets than other, but yeah, they're nomad junk trader salvage vultures.
Yeah, so
there's probably like you kind of go when they're at and there's just like a yard of droids.
Yeah, I would get an R6 droid if they have it, and maybe have it maybe snag some, if it doesn't have it already, snag some medical protocol items that I can have Hal or Tala help me install on it.
All right.
And that'll be, you said 6 to 10?
Yeah, I mean, let's probably with it. If you basically tell the Jawas that you want something with medical capabilities, they're like, "Bah, bah, bah," they come back and they have like removed parts of a 2-1B and like yank stuff out of it and kind of put it in the barrel of the R unit and stuff like that. So call it 10. They're probably asking for like, I'd say they probably ask for like 12 because of the work they're doing and all this kind of other stuff. But
can I make a roll for it?
Of course you can talk them down. Absolutely.
What would that be?
Well, how are you going about it? Are you being threatening? Are you like
would flashy be, could that be a persuasive thing?
Yeah, that's a kind of a, do you know who I am? I mean, this is for me, but okay. Yeah, you could absolutely make it about you, making it like, trust me, if this goes bad, I'll come back for you, and I'm a wanted man in 12 systems,
Okay, so I got a 4.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you could probably get them down to like 9.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Make those adjustments, and we'll figure out how I can make something R6 whatever work into something like an asshole. I don't know. We'll figure out what that designation.
Don't they have like
be.
Personality chips or something?
Yeah, but I mean the name of the droid will like sound like jerk or rascal or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Cool.
But yeah, okay, fair enough. I've just written in my notes R6 asshole droid. But
Chopper is literally the angriest droid in Star Wars, and that's above K2SO4 because K2SO4 is also a very angry droid.
Chopper is more. It's charming though.
No, he's a jackass.
Chopper is just mean.
Well, Turk would think it's charming.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I mean, Chopper would be in the Star Wars version of the show Jackass, like doing things to other people. It's just,
and that's what
I mean. Pulling pranks and okay.
That's what Turk is looking for reasons.
Fantastic.
There is
Wraith's gonna be so happy.
There's probably an astromech probably an astromech socket on the fighter that you could add him to. So he is absolutely yours.
Yeah, and so there's plausible reasons for him wanting it. He needs it for his ship, and I mean,
I think
not just an elaborate prank.
Oh man, well, we didn't say that, but
weird. Your droid got accidentally spaced. How inconvenient.
He hasn't done anything yet.
The only thing that Hickson and Wraith agree on.
There's this look.
We'll just reprogram the astromech to be an assassin droid.
Yes.
There is actually an astromech assassin droid that is canon in Star Wars.
Really? That's amazing.
The one from the Vader comic?
Yep.
That's awesome. Oh man. I just figured that'd be kind of come full circle. You have to you built it to do medical stuff, and fair enough. Okay, but I think is there any other business to conclude on Uton before heading back to the ship and maybe building some things? And
I think we are gonna go give that guy a lift.
Yep.
If Fulcrum can get a hold of me with those codes before I leave a planetary body, and then...
Actually, probably as you're walking back to the ship, your comm kind of goes off message. Obviously, it's
it's not a call; it's like an email.
Yeah, it's essentially or kind of a text, and if you kind of glance at it, it looks like a very complicated code attachment. And there's probably text explaining it but it's one of those, it's like when you look at your phone and there's a little bit of a, it's like the beginning of the message. Here's what the message is about, but you're not necessarily opening the full text kind of thing.
Yeah. And I'll make sure to get that to Tala before we get too far away. Fair enough.
Yeah. Guys kind of get back on the ship and kind of everybody's like, yeah. And Turk comes up, and rolling behind him is an R6 droid. That's been clearly modified, but yeah.
Hey, I got a pal for my ship and for backing us up in case Hickson turns into his old self. This can do medical stuff.
So we have a backup medical droid?
I'm sure Rafe is thrilled by this.
Co-pilot.
You bought an astromech droid.
Why are you guys?
There are worse droids.
Why? It's just. I understand Wraith, but I don't understand.
I'm not mad. I was just confirming that you bought a second.
I mean, he has his own fighter, which may not, basically you've never seen an astromech on board, so yeah.
There's weird vibes.
I don't,
Hello, new friend.
In binary, basically the droid flips you off.
Doesn't say that. He's just a huge asshole.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's just,
apparently.
He's not a grumpy personality. He's like,
he's like what? Old man.
Kids, get off my lawn. Yeah, there you go. He's like Clint
I would love to
Eastwood.
discuss medical protocol with you sometime. Just like watching it roll past.
It's like,
yeah, we'll say he's like grumpier old men type of personality.
Yeah, just kind of get off my lawn sort of droid.
Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau type of.
Oh God, that's awesome.
I was thinking Clint Eastwood from the
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo.
Yeah, there you go.
Or Bill Murphy or Bill Murray in St. Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe not Clint in Gran Torino because he's a racist in that one, but
maybe he just
massive racist.
Maybe he doesn't like organics.
I mean, yeah, the droid could be anti-organic, which would be even funnier.
Yeah, I'm down.
Given that we have an assassin droid who is pro-organic and an astromech who's supposed to be everybody's friend is anti-organic.
Like this is my job, but whatever.
He was like, I pulled him out of some sort of retirement or what?
I was happy on the job.
Yeah.
I was happy on the same.
They left me alone. Yeah.
He seems real friendly, Turk.
Does he have a designation?
It's R6 and we'll come up with it later.
Yeah.
Or what is, yeah.
He probably, it's like, I didn't really. Actually, the designation will probably change since he's been modified. So it's like you may have to. I'm going to have to re-register him. So
sounds good.
Or not re-register him if he's not an unregistered astromech droid. I kind of like the droids. If you understand basic or understand binary, his bedside manner is probably like, take the hypo spray or not. I really don't care.
Yeah, and he's also. He doesn't like Hickson, but he doesn't understand how Hickson could be so pro-organic, and is just trying to convince him.
Why do you like? Why do you like these people?
How
I
wrong
like everyone.
We are clearly superior here. Why are you trying to fix these things?
Yeah,
they break all the time.
And R6 is like, you're an HK. Come on, get with it.
What I wouldn't give to have your build.
Yeah. Do your job.
Do your job.
I am doing my job.
Thank you for the encouragement, R6.
So anyway, yes, in the engine room, where we're going to be putting together. I guess while we're kind of going into orbit, Tala and Hal can basically putting this together and installing it.
Oh yeah.
Why don't Hal you assist? Well, I mean, if Tala, if you just want to do it yourself, but
No, Hal's
extra pair of
welcome to
hands.
assist. I mean, Tala is essentially teaching Hal more about like.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right.
So
all right.
this is a
Cool.
learning experience in addition to like she would definitely have Hal helping
right.
her.
Yeah. Then why? I guess let's call it putting it together according to the plan you already have. Probably careful for Tala, clever for Hal because you're learning. You're figuring it out.
Okay.
Sure.
You're figuring out that puzzle.
Ugh.
I was kind of skip past where clearly, obviously, we've gone back to Sandra Whiff and saying, yeah, we're going to take the job and kind of get that shit going on. It basically gives you information on where in the system that's going to be. Okay.
Can I spend
Super
a
good.
fate point on this?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna.
Yes, you may. Absolutely. Because you
re-roll.
know where things go. And yeah, that'll honestly, you're building a thing. So you've got that +2 from your stunt.
My stunt is if I use clever. So can I use clever?
That's fair. Okay, no, probably not because you're clever for designing it. So let's call that an aspect that I have because you did roll to design it earlier and rolled really well if I remember right. So we can call that an aspect on the board. So yeah.
Okay, then I will tap that to reroll.
That'll give you a +2. Oh, fair enough. Oh, yeah, no. Okay, I can see where a reroll would be.
I must have rolled poorly to come up with a 0. So.
Well, if you
mouse over it.
Yeah, if you mouse over the actual roll, it'll show you what you got. It's 3 minuses and a plus, so it's a minus. The -2 with your +2. So a straight +2 will make it a +4. A reroll, there's a good chance of getting better. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna reroll.
All right.
That's much better.
Much better.
There we go.
That's
Okay.
5.
So, fair enough. That's
Wouldn't clever be applicable if she were trying to jury rig something?
but jury rigging is like I'm going to rip wire out of this and kind of use it to bridge she's building a thing from the designs that she's made. So kind of doing it, she wants to do it correctly. So it also depends on how much time you're, if you have to do this while somebody is shooting at you, that's also a little bit, that would actually probably be quick because, you've got that time pressure and I don't want to be shot kind of thing. Or you might even do building things sneakily if you're trying to put together like a flashbang under the table with, I guess, taking your comm unit apart. But that's a thing about approaches is that anything you want to do may be done in a different way depending on the circumstances or how you want to do it. You can jury rig things forcefully. Percussive maintenance is a thing in Star Wars. Hyperdrive, work, bongs.
Percussive maintenance.
Gonna file that one away for later. Anyway, I got a 3, so.
Fair enough. Yeah, and Hal's clever roll. Yeah, so you're kind of like, okay. I think it can kind of comparing it to design and stuff like that. You're also kind of Hal. You're thinking about and if we actually were building these parts, then this could be much smaller and so on and so forth. So,
right.
Yeah. So fair enough. Yeah. This will probably you're going to get 2 invokes on it. After that, it may burn out.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. But it's one of those. It's kind of a little bit of a sensor thing. I'm going to say it probably works as a shield modulator, shield modulator that kind of not only kind of warps the deflector shield to kind of give you that the visual and sensor camouflage, that it might just kind of also block visual as well to some degree. To kind of like it will look like if somebody's looking directly at it, it's a weird patch in space, and they're like, "What the?" If a TIE
like a ship, which is the
right, exactly, and if a TIE fighter flies within like 100 meters, they're going to be like, "What the fuck is that?" But from like the bridge of a Star Destroyer or something, it's okay, patch of space, whatever. The farther away, the better.
So yeah, Tala and Hal probably spend a couple hours.
Yeah.
In there, you hear lots of clanking and noises and hammering and.
And yeah, basically during that time, if Wraith kind of opens the text message and read the code is essentially a code for the transponder that will kind of provide it with like rotating encryption among like old imperial and commercial codes kind of thing. Yep. So that it's a transponder, a disguise for your transponder, much like the Ghost has.
I was going to say probably very similar. Probably maybe written by someone named Hera.
Yeah, you know, if you want to dig into the code and look and see how well it's commented, but
yeah, I'll show that to Tala once they're done banging around in the engine room. I assume that while they're doing that, we're helping this Ithorian with cargo problem.
Getting up into orbit is not a problem. Yeah, this is Ithorian is flying kind of a Mon Cal light freighter, which being a Mon Calamari, that kind of design, which kind of fits well with Ithorian aesthetic, and probably is more comfortable. I'm going to bet that the cabins and the chairs and things are a little more comfortable ergonomically for an Ithorian, but it kind of looks like a flying horseshoe crab. You know, this kind of got that kind of bulbous and like a long tail, the hyper with the drives underneath it and things like that. It looks very organic compared to Imperial ships and Corellian designs and things like that. So, but yeah, kind of get up on it, and you can see where it's kind of the one turret kind of activates and the radio comes on. So, can I help you? Is the translation, because obviously
it's just okay. I was going to ask because some of the Ithorians actually wear
like a ring that
actually translates for them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He's basically got that collar on, and it translates into basic, and like, can I help you? Turret's kind of not quite tracking on a ship. It's kind of like active, and
we're sent by your associate at the planet to help you unload your cargo.
Of course. You're not here to get me down. You're just here to. Okay, fucking Sander. All right.
Well, for an extra 10% of your fee, we'll get you down on the ground.
There it is. I was waiting for that.
Well, like pushes a button on the collar, says a whole lot of things in Ithorian. Says a couple of things in Ithorian, is like.
Does H6 be like, I know what he's saying?
Yeah, I can translate.
Basically, he's saying a lot of rude things that don't make any sense about Rave's ancestry, because we all know exactly what Rave's ancestry is. Saying things about Rave's parents, which can't be true because he's a clone and grown in a bank. So there's a lot of medically illogical things that the historian is saying about Rave.
They seem to be very confused.
Their grasp of biology troubles me.
Like, clicks that back on and says, 15%, and I'll pay you for a repair. Just a jury rig to get me on the ground.
I'll have to talk with our engineers. They're currently busy with something else, but I think that.
Well, I'm not going anywhere, so fine.
Isn't that the truth?
Ooh.
You get the. I mean. Actually, Ari, give me a. This is kind of what would be in regular Fate an empathy roll, but probably in your case, just probably clever, just getting a feel for the guy.
Ooh. That would be a 4.
Okay, you could. This is one. Clearly this Ithorian is just so angry, and it's probably been boiling for hours because he's stuck up here. and I was kind of expecting this move, but he's not angry at y'all.
Well, that's nice.
This is more. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. This job is fucked, but at least I'm saving like 80% of the bounty because I got it 90% of the way here, kind of thing. Yeah.
While we're waiting, is there any way? Is there any way to tell? And I know we were just talking about earlier in the episode about how scanners in Star Wars suck, but is there any way to tell? Is this a mechanical fault, or was he attacked? And this is like a sign of something, or like he stole this. Like, did he steal the shit? Like, why are these bolsters broken? Like, what is the deal here?
Fair enough. Okay,
we could ask,
but I want to know what we know without asking, because if he stole the ship, there might be like other shenanigans on that, and if we send the engineers over there, that might be bad. If it's battle damage,
you're trying to look for things like carbon scoring and stuff
and try to get a sense of like, is he on that ship by himself, or do I have to go over with the engineers so he plays nice?
From what you can tell, it doesn't look like there's like, you know what? There's probably are blaster marks and things like on the ship, but nothing like recent.
Sure.
It's kind of like the car that's been dirty for months, and but isn't
wash.
And wash me, but it hasn't been mudding recently or anything. It's just like months and years old.
Wow, someone took the time to carbon score wash me on a ship. That's impressive.
It's
a hell of a pilot.
Come on, it's probably somebody at the last place he landed was refueling his ship and was bored, just kind of like, they asked him if he wanted his ship pressure washed, and he says, nah, just to fill up, and they just fucked with him. Like, yeah, fair enough. It's like going to a truck stop.
Hickson leans over and like engages the comm. Says, are you in need of medical assistance?
Not at present. Thank you for the offer. The cargo you're more than welcome to check it. But
what?
There's
oh no! Why does the cargo need to be checked by a medical droid?
There isn't any like recent battle damage, but it looks like the ship's been in a collision. Possibly with junk in the ring. Do you want to give me a clever or careful to look around?
I will carefully look around. I will not carefully look around. That's a 2.
Two is not bad. There's basically some of the junk is kind of within. I mean, not several kilometers different. That basically he probably could have just on momentum carried from there to here.
Clip something.
Yeah, basically there's a bit of space junk that's got some serious spin on it, which it would not have from battle decades ago. Kind of,
Yeah.
Like, kind of probably clip this and just.
If that's the case, I would go back and tell Tala and Hal the deal. We get an extra 5% if they would be willing to dock and fix his ship. And I let them know that I don't think there's any danger over there, but I'll be willing to go over with them if they want.
They appear incredibly proud of this thing bolted on the wall back by the engine. That's probably about 2.5 feet by 3 feet by about 8 inches of just like boxes and lights and wires everywhere. There's not a case on it or anything. It's like, okay, fine. We may have to get in and tinker with it. So why put the lid back on? Kind of, just this. They're like.
So they built a flux capacitor is what you're telling me.
It's kind of got Star Wars lights and things. It's just like, obviously it's a doohickey. It's a thing. Okay.
I I suppose we can go take a look at the ship.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't hurt, right?
And it's worth
Yeah.
5% more, so yeah.
Just hope we have the parts we need.
Well, as he said, he's not going anywhere, so we can always go down to the planet and get the stuff that he needs.
It's not a hard thing to dock. Basically, the way the YT-100, this YT-1300 with the docking ring that goes through the center of those pontoons on either side, so it does kind of bolt up to the side of the ship and clank clank and hisses open, and the Ithorian is there, and he's got a hand at his he's just kind of arms crossed and has a blaster in a cross draw like in the front, so he could, he's being careful as well.
I'd like to take this time to say that I'm definitely bringing Emily my blaster, just in case.
Oh, absolutely, sure. Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting.
And are you coming with?
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
Everybody.
I'm staying on my ship. Damn it.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
I'll be basically at the collar, but I won't go on the ship unless I hear like help.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
I'll go on the ship and see if the Ithorians want to gamble or something.
Well, it's a fairly small. He's like the only, as far as you can tell, unless somebody's hiding in a hidden smuggling compartment, is on the ship by himself. And it's like
it's a small ship.
Yeah, it's not huge. It's Imperial shuttle size, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Obviously not that design, but it's, a pilot can probably operate for, he doesn't have an engineer kind of, it's not anywhere near as big as this would be a situation if somebody came up, he's docked to your ship, not the other way around,
Okay. Never mind.
Hal has, his lightsaber hilt mostly assembled still, definitely, when he's going over there.
Sure.
Not fully, but
yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't accidentally turn it on, but he's just still worried about someone seeing it and knowing what it is.
I mean, I think that's probably something there's a lot of that's drilled into you in Padawan training is not accidentally turning on the lightsaber. That's how you lose limbs. But yeah. So Ari's staying aboard.
Mm-hmm.
Tala's going. Hal is going. Okay. Wraith is staying in the middle. Turk, you're going aboard as well.
No, I'll stay on the ship.
Okay.
Then.
All right, fair enough. And Hickson?
Yeah, I'm going to be like, cargo?
Yep, fair enough. Yep, okay. Well, yeah, basically, and it's one room, and in the back you can kind of give me a clever check, Tala. See what kind of repair this is going to be, and then and for you, Hickson, just against the wall is this 2 meter by about 1.5 meters black slab with all kinds of lights and equipment on it, and of course in the center face of the black slab, underneath this carbon layer is some guy that is frozen in carbonite.
I'm gonna immediately sort of jack in to because it's got the electronics on the side of stuff. So I'm gonna
and there's absolutely a droid port.
I'm just gonna check conditions.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, as he said, life signs are stable. This person is in good shape. Appears to be a human male. And yeah, Tal, looks like most of the damage here is not necessarily. I mean, obviously he's gonna probably need. It's like having a busted radiator. You can get it working, but it's come unattached and not maybe half an hour's worth of work. You can get it to a situation where you can limp to the ground.
That's all we agreed to do. So I mean,
yeah,
I'll notify. I'll tell him. I'll be like, look, I can set this up so you can get to the ground, but you're gonna have to get some better repairs in place.
take care of that with the whatever's left of the bounty after I talk to Sander. But essentially, you're putting a donut on the car.
Yeah,
kind of,
yes, I will put a donut on the car so he can get it down to the ground.
Yeah. And I'm not even going to make you just the roll you've already made is fine. And it's
I'm
just a little bit of
scenario.
time, and and there you go. And Hickson, you can, but after you check it, you can kind of like engage the repulsor lifts and just kind of skate it over. So Ari, you and Turk get to watch Hickson bring this slab of a person frozen in carbonite on board the ship.
Do I if I go up to it and look at it, do I recognize him?
Uh-oh.
That's a question.
Possibly. I bet you do. It's somebody who works for Dilla.
Okay.
It's somebody who works for the Hut, which you have probably worked for as well. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So there's that. Oh yeah, Taryn, you absolutely have a table in the lounge area of the ship. Yeah, it's one of the standard features of a 1300. But the little hollow chest table. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the ways this is a modified 1300 is that kind of that round lounge area and the Jajaric table. But basically, there's like a credit exchange. So you know that actually probably kind of you got this and repairs are finished and kind of come back on your ship, and he undocks and just kind of like it's the slowest.
Are we escorting him down?
Yes, we need to drop off the cargo.
That's up to you, but
unless we want to run off with it.
Yeah.
Just.
See ya.
I would imagine once you get on board, not only does Turk, but several of you probably recognize him as somebody in Dilla's organization.
How high, how low, like where does this, is this a mook? Is this vice president of operations?
No, I'm more of I would say
middle management.
That or kind of an informant. That usually is an information broker. So it's somebody that has probably been the guy that you get turned over for. When Orso Dim says, "Here's the job, and here are the details." Let me go back to my list of names that I totally have.
We can always come up with names on the spot.
I've got a huge page.
Okay.
This guy is this guy's named Trust Kalos. Truss. And Kalos is spelled like it sounds. Kalos.
I guess, have we been working with Dullah the Hutt enough to where calling Orso Dim and being like, "Hey, so funny story, we're here and we found one of your information brokers. Is everything cool?" Or
you could make that call, yeah.
But are we on that kind of level of I since we're playing in the middle of Solo instead of at the beginning of Solo,
sure.
What was the last 4 years of our life like?
Well, how I guess I'll ask.
That wasn't necessarily aimed at you, CJ. That was aimed at, I guess, the group. Where do we sit with Dullah?
Yeah, on how good of terms are you? Is this and is this somebody you want the more favor with?
What was the first name of this bounty hunter?
Tusk.
the bounty.
I got Callus. I didn't get the first.
Tuskalos.
Tusk.
TRUSS.
Trust.
Trust.
Trust without the T.
Which would just be Russ, I guess.
I don't know. Last I was aware of, my connections with the Hut hasn't gone bad.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's on the bad side of
Right.
Bella. I know Ari's, and I think Ari's kind of working with the Hut because my parents are working with Black Sun, so fuck those guys. But I mean, where do you all stand?
Yeah, I think given Wraith's propensity for planning and surgical strikes and those kinds of things, that having an ally in your back pocket is better than burning an ally, like burning a bridge. Like I think he would be very hesitant to burn a bridge by accident. And checking in with command to make sure, like, is everything copacetic, or do you actually want this guy back because someone stole him from you?
I mean, checking in for orders sounds very Mary Command clone trooper to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that might actually be a situation where, if necessary, I'll actually compel ex-Republic Commando just to kind of your fallback. Your fallback is to get orders.
I'll take a fate point for a thing I was gonna do anyway.
Yeah. Hey, that's what fate's good for, man.
Yeah,
I'll give you plenty of reasons to use them.
I'll go to contact Orso. Like, I'm just gonna let Orso know that this guy is here and make sure we're not accidentally stepping in a pile of Bantha Poodoo.
Okay.
I would rather not get on their bad side.
The Hut's bad side? Yeah, I don't want to be a wall decoration for several movies.
No. What?
Movies.
Everyone just starts bleeding.
Movies?
I'm sorry. I'm not sure I understand that reference.
I don't either.
I would guess
Is that a clone thing?
Must be a clone thing, yeah.
I would guess that Hal, like, for part of his thing has been it's safe. Like, Bella doesn't probably ask any questions about where it came from. So
right, exactly. Yeah, you didn't have to fill out a past employment history with Bella.
didn't have a
W-2s.
Yeah.
You're just under a 1099 contractor form. It's
Yeah.
fine. There's no real.
What's your CV? What's your CV? It says you went to school at the Jedi Academy.
He would be concerned
That sounds
about
foreign.
the idea of Dilla knowing exactly what he is, because he can only imagine that would be bad.
Mm-hmm.
If a Hutt had a Jedi, he could under their thumb.
Fair enough. So yeah, do you want to get in contact with? Yeah, basically you can kind of take your time landing or not landing depending on what you want to do.
Well, yeah, he's gonna take like a half an hour to land because he's gonna take. Yeah, he's gonna say you've got plenty of time because that one the ship is limping, and two, you notice while he's flying, he's like incredibly gun shy of all the other junk in orbit. And just kind of like giving every little piece the widest berth that ship can do. So yeah, I would absolutely call Orso Dim and check in.
All right. It's like looking in a mirror, guys. It's this hologram of clone and a hologram of clone, and just kind of.
God, that's creepy.
Except one of them has this scar.
And Wraith technically has a beard.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Wraith has a beard, and Dim has this scar. The eye is. He probably wears a patch,
or he's got cybernetics.
Yeah, very likely. It's got to get. I bet. What? I bet he's got the blind eye thing, but it's cybernetic underneath.
But it's actually cybernetics.
Yeah. I mean, that may be one of Wraith's suspicions because cybernetics exist. There's no reason why a clone wouldn't, but it is still intimidating. So. But anyway, yeah, it's just, Jim was like, Wraith?
Or so. We intercepted.
Sorry, the background ding was great.
Bing!
We intercepted one of your normal informants.
Where are you?
Ooh.
Out.
It doesn't matter. Fine. Okay.
Oot and a boot.
Need to know. Fair enough. One of our informants.
And I'll like show like a little holo, like I'll like add up to the holo image or like a hologram of the carbonite.
Hickson will like lift the carbonite up like in the back.
Put it in the camera. FaceTime.
Grandma says hi.
He's like, is that Truscalos? All right. I see. So somebody put a bounty on him? Interesting.
That seems to be. There is a Rhodian.
Are you willing to tell me whom?
I am. But
for
information
a price
is not free.
I'll pay you whatever they were paying you for this bounty.
Awesome. We just got a bounty that we weren't actually going to get. Cool. Sounds good to me. Where would you like him dropped?
And your 10% was 1,500 creds.
Yep.
So it's probably a 15,000 credit bounty.
So we get the 1,500 because he paid us before he landed, and then we're gonna just take off.
Oh,
the poor Thorian, he's gonna die.
We're vagabonds. Yeah.
Why did he hand it off to us? I don't know, but
because we're trusting. It's just
also because an HK was the one floating the cargo off the ship.
Like, I'm not gonna tell him he can't have it. Thorian's probably closing the docking ring and taking off. It's like, God, I got out of there with my life.
Where would you like us to drop truss?
Well, I don't know where you're close to, but I'm going to bet you'd like a neutral location. Why don't we say Bespin?
Perfect.
I mean, Nalhutta would be great, but we just agreed neutral would be better. So
I don't know how you live there. It's just the armor and the gunk, and it's just
there are distractions, and I'm well compensated, so
we'll see you on Bespin then.
He doesn't actually wear the armor very much anymore.
I assume.
He's still fine with a blaster, but he's one of those, like, well-dressed kind of, yeah. Anyway, yeah, fair enough. Now, I guess my next question, are you going to thaw the guy out? Because you could.
Why?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, it's much easier to transport him like this.
Yeah, he doesn't need any food. I don't have to talk to anyone else.
He can't complain.
Hal's probably just like, what's wrong with you people?
Doesn't need to be fed.
No bathroom privileges.
Privileges.
We don't have to give him a bunk.
It's just lean him against the wall.
We tip him upside down so we can play beer pong.
Oh my god.
That seems like a Turk thing. That's like definitely what Turk would do.
We're laying him flat so you can use him as the beer pong table.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Face
Turk
up
is
or
like-
face down?
Face down.
Face
I
down
have to
so
assume.
that it's flat. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you can't do the bounce very easily.
So like Wraith and Turk are teaching Hal how to play beer pong on the back of a carbonite frozen.
It's not entirely flat, but
Flattish.
And Turk and Wraith are arguing about what the house rules are going to be.
Yeah.
It's like you bounce it off the At the behind, fair enough. God. Perfect. All right. Well, fair enough. And so you guys probably are not landing back on Utah, or probably just headed straight for
Yeah. I think the end is like he's circling, he lands, he's like, the ship's
yeah, exactly. This is gonna see
and it's like
Yep, it's just like you were
There's
saying.
an after credits scene of the Ithorian with his hands just like trying to talk Sanders out of like pulling a blaster on him.
Or the scene as he clicks off the button again and he just starts cursing in authority.
Oh man! And if he lives, there's an enemy for you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, great.
For sure.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah.
I'm just collecting enemies. Let's just say it's like Pokemon. It's like Pokemon except the reverse.
Mm-hmm. Gotta catch them all.
Gotta upset them all.
Yeah.
Gotta hide from them all.
So we've
Perfect.
got an ISB agent, a Sith Inquisitor, a bounty hunter, maybe more than one.
And now a smuggler bounty hunter.
Ooh,
Cool.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
Now a smuggler, a bounty transporter who may just like, I
I'm
think
sure
I'm
we'll
gonna
get
turn,
a hut in there somewhere.
I'm gonna turn murderer now. That's what's gonna happen. Anyway, so guys, thank you for watching. I've been DJ Hunter. I'm Commander Pulsar on Twitter and Twitch, and you can find me here on Saturdays playing Star Wars Vagabonds with these folks. On Friday, you can find me here at 9 p.m. to midnight playing Dresden Files as, I guess, another scoundrel ne'er-do-well who is always where crime is not on the Portland Files. Both on Roll for Change, where we are still taking donations for the ACLU. You can do that anytime. Those donations will kind of roll in, and we're trying to hit to 500 for the quarter. I guess we'll try and be a little more organized about our outros. And I'll start with Hickson and go across and then up and then back. So Taryn, where can we find you on the internets?
Hey everybody, Taryn. You can find me on the Twitters at TarzanNoZ, and you can find me currently on Thursdays over on twitch.tv/TechnoScald. We are playing Mothership, and it was a lot. There's definitely some horror, and things are getting very intense. The party has been split due to fleshy innards of a meteor, so things are looking very up. But yeah, that's it right now, and yeah,
it was very Dead Space. It was great.
Yep, very Dead Space.
And so Zach, tell us about you.
Yeah, hi, I'm Zach. You can find me at Sir Gorals on Twitter. And like CJ, you can find me also here on Friday nights for Friday Night Fate and the Dresden Files, where I play Andy Wells, the recently minted warden of the Pacific North or Atlantic Northeast.
Marshall?
Yeah, no, that's not going to be a thing still. And then, Saturday's here to be another magic user, because that's apparently what I do. There's a game of magic and cool swords. That's what I do.
Fair enough. And Ari Schiff.
Hello.
Spooker.
I'm Zuri, sometimes called Spooky. You can find me on Twitch creative streams Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 5 Eastern at Spookerific, which is up there somewhere. And this is the only game I'm in right now. So if you want to watch me come draw and paint and do a lot of that creative stuff,
It's fun to watch. Yep, and we'll go up and then go back left. So, Jake, tell us about Turk, or tell us about you.
Hey everyone, I'm Jake Friday. You can find me on Twitter at Jake Friday. Mondays on Twitch Venture Ventures channel. I run a game of Descent into Avernus at 7 p.m. Pacific. And last week, I had the wrong microphone set up for the stream, and so my players could hear me, but you couldn't. It sounded like I was like a block away. So those things happen, and it's very frustrating. But it won't happen tomorrow because it just happened last week. Anyways,
Are you really streaming if you don't have some kind of
Sure.
difficulties? Let me.
so annoying.
It is what it is. Adam.
Yes, I am Adam. You can find me on the interwebs at Adam_J_Pearson on the tweeters. I will be back next week here as Wraith, and I DM/GM, because I think technically Fate uses GMs. The Dresden Files or the Portland Files game, as we were talking about in Roll for Change, Friday nights from 9 to midnight. It's the start of season 2. We just had season 2 premiered last night, and so season 2 will continue next week. And we've split the party 3 ways, and it'll be great. And we definitely put the squishies in one corner and all of the not squishies in another corner, and it's freaking perfect.
Last but not least, thank you for doing tech, Danielle. Appreciate it so much.
Absolutely welcome. Hi, I'm Danielle. I am at Racontor on Twitter. You can find me obviously here, but you can also find me later tonight at 8 p.m. on that other Doc's channel where we are playing Invisible Sun, and I play a gambling weaver who likes to light things on fire. And that's not a far call at all from what I play on Friday nights, where I play a wizard who also likes to light things on fire, who may or may not now have the ability to raise the dead. We'll find out next week, I guess. So that's, of course...
But it's not necromancy.
It's not necromancy, and that's what counts. And that's 9 p.m. here on Roll for Change on Fridays.
Hey, very cool. Now, then I have a note here that says not to mention that Masks is tonight, because it's not. But there, next Saturday, I guess I'll mention it then as well. Normally on Saturday nights, there's a Masks game at 9. They're starting their season next week. And that's going to be a thing on Roll for Change. And I want to thank all of my players. I want to thank all of my viewers. I want to thank Evil Hat for writing Fate and Fate Accelerated and letting us do this. And I want to thank George Lucas, Disney, and LucasArts for letting us borrow their universe and not suing us. And have a great weekend. May the Force be with you, everyone. We'll see you later. Bye.